A lot to live up to. We'll see. How's everybody doing? All right. Me too. Excited to be here. Excited because St. Patrick's Day is coming up. You know what that means? Green M&Ms. We keep a bowl of M&Ms out of the house. You can usually get a good sense of the time of year based on the color of M&Ms we have out. My favorite's Halloween, black and orange. Then you get into the holidays, green and red. But we're an inclusive household, so I also like to put out a bowl with just blue. Mazel. From then we get into February, red for Valentine's Day. But I also like to take the extra black ones from Halloween, put those out. Rest of the year, say after St. Patrick's Day, pretty much standard issue. Except for June. June's Pride Month. So we switched to Skittles. Taste the rainbow. I started a new job recently, which got me thinking about all the strange policies I've encountered over the course of my career. One of my old jobs, very strict facial hair policy. Mustaches only. No beards allowed. Which I always thought was wild, because there's no scenario where I have only a mustache and I look more professional. I look more creepy. And if I were to ask you to name the most famous mustaches in history, Hitler's on the list. Probably not the guy you want coming to mind when you make a policy. And it's tough to pull off just a mustache. But a beard is good for all men. It'll cover so much. You don't know what's going on under here. Could be Chris Hemsworth, could be Chris Christie. I get to use a lot of acronyms in my job, which is fun. Acronyms are kind of my favorite. Although there was a stretch when I thought an acronym was someone who only had sex with acrobats. Not the case. But I love a good acronym. You might even say acronyms are the GOAT. The goofiest option available today. That's what I like about them. No rules. You're reining me out. I mean, I don't call my wife Fab because she's fabulous. I call her Fab because she's got a fat ass booty. She appreciates the compliment, although she doesn't love the delivery structure. Unfortunately for her, it's a gas. It's a good ass structure. Yeah, acronyms, they're everywhere. I mean, just last week I had to head down to the DMV to register my SUV, trying to get out of there ASAP. But it was like everybody had ADD. Waiting behind the counter, talking to everybody like they were BFFs. LOLing about UFOs or HIV. So I'm standing there. SMH. I'm getting PO'd. LFG. Finally, it's my turn. Now this woman's looking at me like, WTH. Turns out it was just a minor case of RBF. She was great. Handled all my FAQs like it was NBD. Although for some reason, when we were finished, she started telling me about her UTI. FYI, TMI. At that point, I just grabbed my ID, hopped into V, lit up some THC, threw on some BIG. R.I.P. Me and my coworkers, we went to a team building event at one of these indoor golf simulators last week, which was tough because I don't really know anything about golf. So I got there, typed in my name, and the first question that comes up is, what's your handicap? I didn't know. Stood there for a minute, finally I just typed in lazy eye. It felt like an appropriate answer. And even when I'm looking straight ahead, my ball and my eye tend to drift off. It's tough for golf, it's worse for conversations. It makes people uncomfortable. You get a lot of this. I mean, honestly, though, how bad could it be, really? I mean, you guys can tell them when you hit your right. You guys? It's okay, though, because one of my biggest heroes also had a lazy eye. Maybe you've heard of him, the notorious B.I.G. Couple, all right. I'm a pretty big hip-hop guy, you can probably tell. Haircut usually gives it away. Yeah, I mean, by the time we left that golf simulator, all my coworkers were calling me Two-Putt Shakur. Yeah, I love hip-hop. I think my favorite thing about it is how they've embraced the metric system. Yeah, unlike the rest of America, rappers use it all the time. Smoking weed, flipping keys, making crazy G's. And look, I don't encourage the sale and distribution of illegal narcotics, but I do encourage the metric system. I mean, I like it so much, I'm actually starting to develop a bit of a meter fetish, which is just like a foot fetish, only longer. 3 inches, more like 9 centimeters. What's up? Yeah, I love hip hop, but it can be tough. Mostly because I look like a grown-up version of the kid from A Christmas Story. Tough to maintain any street cred when everyone assumes you're going to shoot your eye out. Also, very few people in my life share my passion. Recently, I tried to get my nephews to start calling me Unc. Totally backfired. Instead, they started calling me Chunk. I thought I was going to get to teach them how to Dougie. Now all they want is the truffle shuffle. Also, my wife's not a hip-hop fan, so she never appreciates my hip-hop compliments. The other day, she comes downstairs in a pair of leggings. I said, damn, shorty, you dummy thick. You know, ass so fat that you could see it from the front. Didn't go over. We make it work, though. We make it work. Been together for 12 years now, and you know, oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's going pretty well. You know, over the years, I've found that you can tell a lot about a relationship dynamic based on the order in which you say a couple's names. My wife's name is Rachel, and when we first got married, it was Dan and Rachel. Always Dan and Rachel. Over the years, started to get a lot more Rachel and Dan, which I didn't love. That was, of course, until I overheard someone say Rachel and her husband. What the hell, Mom? Yeah, we got a pretty good thing going, although, you know, we have our tough moments, just like anybody else. You know, for example, I know my wife wishes I was more of a handyman. Unfortunately, I'm really just a handyman. Yeah. Makes it tough to get through the kitchen. Also, we have very different parenting styles, which can be tough. You know, like she's a good parent. My style is more like, better not. Better not. She has to remind me quite a bit that their brains are still developing, which is true. But it doesn't change the fact that they started it. And parenting is tough. Parenting is tough. It's like something else I've really been struggling with is the fact that you have to teach them everything, but they get all the credit. I only seem to get acknowledgement when something goes wrong. Sure, he learned to ride his bike. But you only hear he learned it from his dad when they say something like, "Nice fucking blinker, pal." In my defense, the guy could use his fucking blinker. Maybe if there weren't so many bad drivers out there, my kids wouldn't have to swear so much. Yeah, so they're learning to talk. You know, they're currently at the phase where they can get their point across, but they still make a ton of mistakes. Look how fast I go. Mommy is the bestest. Can you believe how much Daddy eated? First of all, can you believe how much Daddy ate? Second, excuse me for still having an appetite. Not all of us spent the entire day demanding snacks under the threat of violence. Pretty sure as I walked out tonight, I heard one of them yell, "Give me goldfish or give me death." Maniacs. On the upside, there is quite a bit of unintended innuendo, which is fun. Last time one of my guys had a cold, he refused to let me blow his nose, but I kept trying until finally he yelled, "I want Mommy to blow me." Me too, man. Me too. Thank you, everybody.